You're not supposed to hear footsteps in an empty building, especially when you're the only one who has the keys. But what if the building knows you're there? Night shifts have a strange way of changing your mind. The silence is never truly silent. It hums like something alive is breathing inside the walls. That's what I learned during my first week working security at the old corporate tower on Westbridge Road. The building had 12 floors. At least, that's what the blueprint said. But every night at exactly 2:13 a.m., the elevator would stop at a floor that wasn't on the panel. I didn't believe it at first. The senior guard, Malik, told me during my training. "Whatever you do," he said quietly, "if the elevator stops by itself, don't get off." I laughed. He didn't. The first few nights were normal. Quiet patrols, empty hallways, the occasional flicker of lights that I blamed on old wiring. I started to feel comfortable, maybe too comfortable. That's when things changed. It was my 6th night. 2:12 a.m. I was inside the elevator, heading down from the 10th floor after a routine check. The fluorescent light above me buzzed softly, then the elevator stopped. Not slowed, not jerked, just stopped. No button was pressed, no floor number lit up, but the doors still opened. The hallway outside was dark, not dim, not shadowy, completely black, like the lights didn't exist there. I hesitated. Malik's voice echoed in my head. "Don't get off." So I didn't. I pressed the closed door button. Nothing happened. The door stayed open. Waiting, then I heard it. A sound from the darkness, not footsteps, not breathing, something softer, like fingers dragging across the wall, and then a voice whispered my name. I slammed every button on the panel. Still nothing. The whisper came again, closer this time. "Come out!" My chest tightened. The darkness outside seemed to move, like it was shifting, forming something. Then suddenly the doors shut. The elevator dropped. Hard. I hit the ground floor, shaking, heart racing like it was trying to escape my chest. I didn't tell anyone that night. I should have. Because the next night, it happened again. But this time, something was waiting inside the elevator with me. It was 2:13 a.m. again. I wasn't even near the elevator this time. I was in the lobby when I heard it move on its own. Against my better judgment, I walked toward it. The doors were open, empty. At first glance, then I noticed something. A reflection. Not in the mirror. On the metal panel. There was someone standing behind me. I turned around instantly, no one there. But when I looked back at the reflection, it was still there. Tall, still, and smiling. The reflection moved, even when I didn't. I stumbled back, my breath uneven. The elevator doors slowly began to close on their own, and just before they shut completely, the reflection stepped forward. Right toward me, the doors slammed shut. Silence. I didn't sleep after that, didn't even sit down, I just waited for my shift to end. The next day, I confronted Malik. His face went pale. "You saw it, didn't you?" he whispered. I nodded. He sighed. "That floor? It's not supposed to exist anymore." "There used to be a 13th floor, but they removed it after something happened." "What happened?" I asked. Malik hesitated, then said something I wish I never heard. "People started disappearing. Not quitting, not transferring, disappearing. The company removed all records of the 13th floor, sealed it off, reprogrammed the elevator system. But somehow, every night at 2:13 a.m., it still came back. And now, it knew me. Because the next night, it didn't wait for me to find it. It came looking. I was doing my rounds on the 5th floor when the lights went out. All of them at once. Then I heard the elevator bell. Ding. but I wasn't near the elevator. It was behind me. I turned slowly. The doors were open. In the middle of the hallway, where no elevator should be, inside, was that same darkness. And something stepped out. Not fully human, not fully real, but it was definitely aware. It moved unnaturally, like its joints bent wrong. Its face blurred, like it couldn't decide what it looked like. Then it spoke, not with sound, but inside my head. "You saw us." I tried to run, but my legs wouldn't move. "You opened the door." My vision blurred. The hallway stretched, bending into something impossible. "You belong here now." And then I realized something horrifying. The building wasn't trapping me, it was changing me. I don't remember how I got out. I just remember waking up outside, morning light burning my eyes. I quit that day, never went back. But sometimes I look in the mirror, my reflection doesn't match. And every night, exactly 2:13 a.m., I hear the elevator bell, even when I'm not inside the building anymore. If your phone rings at 3 a.m., don't answer it, because sometimes the person calling isn't trying to talk to you. They're trying to reach you. I used to think night shifts were peaceful. No crowds, no noise. Just quiet hours where time passed slowly and nothing really happened. That's what I believed. Until the calls started. I worked as a night operator at a small roadside dispatch office. My job was simple: answer incoming calls, log incidents, and forward emergencies when needed. Most nights the phone barely rang. Until one night, it rang at exactly 3 a.m., and from that moment on, it never stopped ringing at that exact time. The first call seemed normal, just static, no voice, no breathing, nothing. I said hello 3 times before hanging up. I didn't think much of it. I should have. The next night, at exactly 3 a.m., it rang again. This time I answered faster. "Dispatch, who's calling?" Silence. Then, a faint whisper. "Can you hear me?" The voice was weak, distant, like it was coming from underground. "Yes," I said, leaning closer. "Who is this?" A pause, then. "I think I'm lost." Something about the voice made my stomach tighten. It sounded familiar, not in a comforting way, in a wrong way. I asked for their location, no answer, just static again. Then the line went dead. But the call log showed something impossible. The call wasn't coming from outside, it was coming from inside the building. I checked the system twice. The internal line. Extension 13. We didn't have an extension 13. The next night I was waiting for it. 3 a.m. Right on time! The phone rang. I hesitated. My hand hovered over the receiver. Then I picked it up. "Hello?" Breathing, this time clear, slow, right against the receiver. And then I heard my own voice. "You shouldn't have answered." I dropped the phone. It swung slightly, hitting the desk with a soft, hollow sound. My heart pounded so hard I thought I might black out. That was impossible. It had to be a prank, a glitch, something explainable. But deep down, I already knew it wasn't. The calls continued every night, same time, same number, and every night they got worse. Because the caller started describing things that were happening before they happened. "Don't turn around," the voice said one night. I froze. "It's behind you." I didn't move, couldn't. "You turned around last time," the voice continued. "That's how it saw you." My throat went dry. "Who is this?" I whispered. A long silence. Then, "It's you." "You just don't remember yet." I slammed the phone down. My hands were shaking uncontrollably now. I needed proof, something real. So I checked the security footage. That's when everything fell apart. At exactly 3 a.m., The camera showed me answering the phone, but I was already watching the footage. There were two of me, one standing at the desk, answering the call, and one watching the screen. I stumbled back, knocking over the chair. The version of me on the screen slowly turned toward the camera, toward me, and smiled. Then it spoke, through the phone and the camera at the same time. "You're getting closer." The lights flickered violently. The room felt smaller, like the walls were pressing inward. I grabbed my bag. I didn't care about the job anymore. I just needed to leave. But as I reached the door, the phone rang again. 3 a.m. I froze, and this time, I already knew what the voice would say. I picked it up slowly, against every instinct in my body. "Don't leave," the voice whispered. "Why?" I asked, my voice barely audible. "'Cause if you do, you won't be the one who walks out." My grip tightened on the receiver. "What does that mean?" Silence. Then, "Look behind you." I didn't want to. Every part of me screamed not to, but I did. Standing near the door was me, not a reflection, not a shadow. Another version of me, watching, waiting, and then it stepped forward. At the exact same time, I felt myself move, without choosing to, like something had taken control. The phone slipped from my hand. It hit the floor, still connected. "Too late," the voice whispered. Everything went black. When I woke up, it was morning. I was sitting at the desk like nothing had happened. The call log was empty. The cameras showed nothing unusual. But something was wrong, because when my phone rang that night, at exactly 3 a.m., I didn't remember picking it up, but I heard myself say, "Hello?" And on the other end, something whispered back, "Good, you're still there." Security cameras don't imagine things. They don't hallucinate, and they don't lie. So if a camera shows something that shouldn't exist, then the problem isn't the camera. It's what's standing in front of it. The rule was simple. Never ignore camera 7. That's what my supervisor told me on my first night working surveillance at the warehouse facility on the outskirts of the city. Every camera matters, he said, but camera 7, you always watch that one. I asked why. He didn't answer. He just said one thing before leaving me alone in the control room. If it goes black, don't look away. The room was small, dimly lit, monitors stacked across the wall, 12 feeds in total, each covering a different part of the building. Loading docks, storage aisles, hallways, and camera 7. Camera 7 showed a long, narrow corridor, nothing special. Concrete walls, flickering light, a single door at the end. At first, everything was normal, too normal. Hours passed, nothing moved, nothing changed. Until 1:47 a.m., camera 7 flickered, just once. I leaned forward, the image stabilized. Same hallway, same door. But something felt off. I replayed the last 10 seconds, frame by frame. That's when I saw it. For one frame, there was someone standing at the end of the hallway. I froze, replayed it again, nothing, empty, again. Frame by frame, there, a figure, tall, blurred, facing the camera, gone in the next frame. It wasn't glitching, it was peering. I grabbed the radio. Control to floor unit, check corridor 7, static. There were no floor units, I was alone. The building suddenly felt heavier, quieter than before, like the silence had weight. I kept watching. Minutes passed, nothing. Then the figure came back, this time. It didn't disappear. It stood at the far end of the corridor, completely still. Facing the camera, I couldn't make out its face. It looked stretched, wrong. Then it moved, not walking, not stepping, sliding. It moved closer, without moving its legs. My breath caught in my throat. It stopped halfway down the corridor and slowly tilted its head like it knew I was watching. And then camera 7 turned slightly. Not enough to be obvious. Just a few degrees. As if something had touched it. I checked the other cameras. No one there. Nothing moving. Back to camera 7. The figure was closer now. Too close. Close enough that I should have seen it with my own eyes. But when I looked away from the monitor, the corridor outside the control room was empty. When I looked back, it was even closer. I stumbled back from the desk. "No," I whispered. "No, no, no." The screen flickered again, and for a split second, I saw myself standing in that corridor, exactly where the figure was, facing the camera, smiling. I rushed to the door of the control room, opened it. The hallway outside was silent, empty, but something felt wrong, too quiet. Then I noticed there was a camera above the hallway, camera 7. I slowly turned back toward the control room, toward the monitors, and what I saw made my blood run cold. On the screen, I was still inside the control room, sitting, watching, smiling. The version of me on the monitor slowly leaned forward, closer to the camera, and then it spoke. Not through speakers, not through the radio, inside my head. "You weren't supposed to leave your seat!" The lights cut out. Everything went black. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Then, a faint glow from the monitor, camera 7, still on. And now, the corridor wasn't empty. There were 2 figures standing there. One of them was me, and the other one was slowly learning how to be.